So one thing that I love doing is checking out different video game stores in whichever area I'm exploring. This did not disappoint when I went out to Play It Games, Movies, and Music. I saw some of the craziest items that I had never seen, and of course, I found some Super Nintendo games for the full set that I'm going for. So let's go ahead and check it out. So of course I'm out here and I see one of the craziest items in this store. This right here is the Heineken Nintendo GameCube. Now I have seen these before and they go for insane amounts of money now, but there's estimated to be about 50 of these in existence. And this is just so crazy because this was a contest that you could have won back then. And going for the full GameCube set, this would be a holy grail. And I know people use that term all the time, but only 50 in existence. This is a true meaning of what that term is. So this was an insane store. I love how everything was like front facing. They had such an insane variety and it was so organized. I was able to just jump in and find some of the craziest games. This one right here, Axley, on the Super Nintendo. This is by far one of the best shoot 'em ups on the system. It has so much going on with this game and it's really a great time. So you have the speed, the movement, it's all consistent. There is no slowdown. You have this vertical and horizontal scrolling and the graphics look amazing. Everything looks so beautiful with the bosses and I love how impressive this game is. This still holds up to this day and the music is also great. This is one that I highly recommend, especially if you love shoot 'em ups on any system. This one really stands the test of time and I scored it for such an amazing deal. They really hooked me up at this store. And I just wish I could have went through and just bought everything. Seeing all of those Nintendo Switch games, just front facing, just so much going on, and even checking out all of the Nintendo Entertainment System games that they had, especially behind the counter. So I just stumbled behind the counter, and I know that this is on hold for Nick here, this entire stack of Nintendo Entertainment System games. These very nice games here. But I think I'm gonna have to buy them so that Nick can no longer get these games.
Nick sucks.
This is actually a really nice stack of games here. These like heavy hitter games for the Nintendo.
Is that a Panic Restaurant under there now?
Yep, Panic Restaurant, Bonk's Adventure.
Thanks, Nick.
He already like hand selected these for me, so this is really great because I don't have a good chunk of these. So thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to buy all of these, so you'll have to get them from my game room. Thank you. Now, I also picked up Hammerlock Wrestling. This one is a very interesting game where I see that they tried to do something different. They tried to be unique in this fighting style. But I just feel like because there's just so much going on, it is just too busy. The animations are just over the top. Now, they look great, but it's so hard to focus on fighting, especially when it's like divided. The whole screen, you just can't really focus on the fighting when you have all of this action going on. It's just a really weird game, but it's so different, and I feel like some people might enjoy this, especially if you are like a wrestling fan and you just want something that's rather unique. Dragon's Lair. This is a game that is not good on these consoles. This one is probably by far like one of the worst games out there, but only because they did it right in the arcades. When you have this game, this like half adventure, this half movie, this is an arcade hit. But by the time it comes to these systems, the hardware limitations, it's just not good. And they tried to turn it into a platformer, which really does not do a good job either on the system. So this is one that I'd rather play in the arcades. I'd rather play it pretty much anywhere else, but not really on these home consoles. This game right here, this is Genghis Khan II. This is Clan of the Grey Wolf. So this is a game style that this like type of whatever's going on. This one is one that I'm just not really into that much, but this one did it pretty right. So this one ported it all over. It was pretty much on every single system, and you have to set up and organize your military. The goal is to unite all, and there's 4 different scenarios. It plays smooth, but once again, this is just not one of my favorites to play. They made so many different games just like this on the Super Nintendo. This one might be one of the better ones, but still, they just take so much time, just so much is going on, and I've really discovered that these ones aren't really my games, unless it's something more that you're nostalgic for, or if you just enjoy this type, you might find this one interesting. So this store had so much going on, and I'd love to see some of the other locations. This one was an upgrade that they did so that they could house more music, more movies. They have just dedicated areas, and it's not just all filler. They have so many great items throughout the different mixes, just so much, and I love how they have consoles and TVs set up so that you could play all around the store. It just feels like an inviting place and just a fun time. And they just have so much quality, and I'd love to check it out, not when I'm going to a convention, just because I could see a little bit more that they have, as they already started packing up to bring some items to set up at the TORG Gaming Expo. But this was such a great time. Everyone was super friendly. It was so much fun, and I just had a blast. So, which Super Nintendo game would you add into your collection? And did you see any crazy items while you were there? Now, this brings it from 558 Super Nintendo games to adding those 4. I have 562, and I can't wait to see what comes next.